Hello, class. So today we talked about equivalent fractions. If you did this in class, then you don't need to worry about this. But if you have not, then you need to be ready to get this done today. So what we talked about in class was that fractions can be the same size. And just because they have a different numerator or denominator does not necessarily mean that they aren't going to end up being the same size. They don't always have to be one bigger than the other. So today we talked about different ways to do that. And one of the ways that we're looking at is multiplication. So as you can see, 1/2 and 2/4 are the same. They are equivalent fractions. Now, here's a bar model off to the left of it. It's not a very good bar model, but it illustrates the idea that 1/2, if these bars are the same size, 1/2 is going to be equivalent to, this is going to be equivalent to 2/4. Now, we can do that through bar models, but there are other ways to solve it, and that is through multiplication. So here we have these nice little arrows. They do a good job illustrating how this works. So you do 2 times 2 to get the 4, and 1 times 2 to get 2. And so now we know that 2/4, we have just come up with an equivalent fraction for 1/2 here. 2/4 is the same as 1/2. Here's another way of doing it over here on the side. If this is more organizational for you, you can do this instead. I prefer the arrows because it kind of tells me that I need to be multiplying this and this together, and this together to get this over here. But if you prefer to do more of a cross method, you are more than welcome to do that. But the overall message here is that 1/2 and 2/4 are equivalent fractions. And we can discover this because when we multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2, we get 2/4. Now, below, you're going to see a bunch of other fractions. And the majority of these fractions, they have picked out a number for you. So for example, down here we have 1/3, and they want you to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2. And that will find an equivalent fraction to 1/3. Now, you don't always have to, obviously in this worksheet you do, but for 1/3, 1/3 has many equivalent fractions. You could multiply 1/3 by 3 if you wanted to. Or you could multiply 1/3 by 4, 5, 6, 100. You could pick any number, and as long as you multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, you will find a fraction that is equivalent to 1/3. Here you can see that they've done so with a few more. And it just goes on and on and on. You can keep going with this same concept. So I would like you to complete the remainder of this worksheet and then use this strategy in the future when you come into more fractions that require you looking for an equivalent fraction.